Your teams, the heart of St. Louis. Valley Sports Midwest. The heart of the fan.
It is time for Cardinals baseball from Jupiter, Florida. Game 2 of the Grapefruit League schedule. The Redbirds get their first look at the Miami Marlins, a club with a distinct Cardinal flavor. Redbirds looking for their first win this afternoon here at Roger Dean Stadium. Hi again, everybody. Chip Carey, Brad Thompson. Biggest game of the spring so far, Brad. We've got the Iron Man, Miles Michaelis, taking the hill.
Yeah, Cardinals looking to bounce back, right? After that first outing in spring training. Miles Michaelis, first of 2 starts that he's going to be getting before he heads to the World Baseball Classic. And you think about where this team would have been in 2022 if it were not for Miles Michaelis. Ever since coming over and signing with the Cardinals, he's been a constant for this ball club. He eats up innings for you, and forget the pitch clock. You don't need it when Miles Michaelis is out there.
Michaelis and Iron Man, as we said, over 200 innings pitched, Brad, last year.
Again, needed it badly. Didn't know where the innings were going to come from. This is a guy that had 9 starts in the 2 years prior to 2022. He put it all together, 32 starts, 202 and a third innings. Pretty good list he's on there.
You talked about the pitch clock. We talked about that a lot yesterday. Today, we'll delve into the other new rules. Bigger bases and the shift ban. All that and more as we continue from Jupiter after the break. Weather at Roger Dean Stadium for the Cardinals and the Marlins. Game 2 of our spring schedule. We talked a lot about all the pitch clock ramifications in Major League Baseball. Well, let's talk, Brad, about the bases. Old base, new base, much bigger, pizza box size shape for 2023, and what effect, if any, do you think that's going to have on the game?
Well, I think one of the biggest things that Major League Baseball looked at here was trying to limit injuries. And with a bigger base, there's less area to end up having collisions at the bag. That's one of them. We're not, as from a viewer standpoint, concerned about that. We're worried about what does the game change. Well, will guys steal more bases? It's a shorter distance, 4.5 inches difference. So many bang-bang plays in the game of baseball.
I'm all for it. I grew up watching Vince Coleman and Willie McGee do their thing, and this is the one I think that's caused the most controversy, Brad. Shouldn't a defensive team be able to place their players where they want them to?
You would think so, and you would think that a hitter would hit a ball to a wide-open left side. They didn't do that, so Major League Baseball has made changes. They've legislated the game the way they want it played. 2 infielders stay on each side of second base. Your infielders also have to have their feet starting in the dirt before the pitch is thrown.
The game is changing before our very eyes, but it's still baseball, and we love it. We're going to shift gears, too, and come back with more from Jupiter after the break. Sports Midwest is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. And by Ford, the official car and truck of the St. Louis Cardinals. Spring's in full bloom here at Roger Dean Stadium with Brad Thompson. I'm Chip Carey. Game 2 of our Grapefruit League schedule. We get our first look at the Miami Marlins and their new skipper, Brad, former Cardinals Skip Schumacher.
Excited for the opportunity for Skip to manage the Marlins here. He's been on this path, 11-year big league career. Now he takes over a team. Had him 1 year in St. Louis as the bench coach, and you knew that this was going to be in his future. He's got himself a talented young club with a couple of key players being the pieces that maybe put them over the top.
And a very big Cardinal coaching staff flair, I think it's safe to say, too.
Absolutely. John Mabry is in there as one of his hitting coaches. He's got John Jay as well. So this is a very Cardinal-centric staff, which also tells you the little details are going to get focused on a lot, because that's all these guys have been hit on their entire career, is that the little things matter.
So our first look at the Marlins, our second look at the Cardinals. Tommy Edmonds going to lead off, play shortstop. Tyler O'Neill will play center field again. Back-to-back Nolans in Ollie Marmol's lineup today against the Marlins. Jordan Walker starts in left. Burleson, Kisner, and Jose Fermin will get the start over at third base. And one of the new acquisitions for the Marlins is Johnny Cueto, guy that's been around a long time, Brad, and has been very, very good.
He's been so effective everywhere. He's on his 5th organization, and this is a team in the Marlins that are already deep when it comes to their pitching, but Johnny Cueto provides some of that veteran leadership, the sinker, the changeup, cutter, 4-seam slider. He'll throw any of these pitches in any count.
So Cueto's first misses down and in for Tommy. 1 ball, no strikes here in the top of the first inning. And little tapper up the middle. That's going to sneak through a leadoff single. And that's how game 2 of this spring slate starts. Tommy Edman has a knock, and he's aboard to get things started. One question for the Marlins.
They made a lot of offensive acquisitions, but what cost will that have, Brad, for them defensively? Gene Segura's only played a handful of games at third base. He came over from the Phillies. Arise, the batting champion in the American League, was a first baseman with the Twins, now playing second. And the biggest move, Jazz Chisholm moves from the infield to center field.
It's going to be very interesting for this team, and that is going to be one of the bigger keys. Jazz Chisholm moving out to center field for them he's a very talented, great athlete. He's going to be fine doing that, but it's going to take some time. I think it helps having a manager like Skip Schumacher who has done that at the big league level to help some of these guys.
Good rip by O'Neill, fouled that straight back. And the count even for Tyler, 1 ball, 1 strike. Feast your eyes on some of these Cardinals. They're not going to be in camp much longer with the WBC starting. Tommy Edman will play today, won't play tomorrow. Lars Nootbaar will play tomorrow, and then they'll be off for their respective clubs. As Tyler hits a sky-high fly ball to left, that's out toward Jorge Soler, who's looking for a rebound year. And an easy catch for out number 1. Tommy back to first here in the first. Cueto's done it all, man. 143 wins. 188 strikeouts, Brad, away from 2,000.
It's been a great career. Cardinal fans got a chance to see him for a very long time as he was with the Reds, finished up a deal with the Giants, pitched last year for the White Sox. He's just been a go-to guy.
Juan Yepez gets the start today. That's what Juan did last year over his 76 games. Where do you see Yepez's role for the Cardinals in 23 now?
Well, he should be firmly in that mix of DH guys, and that's going to be one of the bigger questions in camp of who can take some of those at-bats. And obviously, he could play the corner outfield for you as well. We saw him in left, we saw him in right, we saw him play some first, saw him DH. I mean, he did a little bit of everything. The key for Juan Yepez is he swinging a hot bat? The thing I love about Yepez, he doesn't have any splits. He's good against lefties, good against righties. He's just got a really nice approach.
Didn't get that. Cueto blew it by. 1 ball, 2 strikes. We talked about it yesterday. It's really been the theme of the early days of camp opportunity for the Cardinals.
And it's really one of these camps where there are more things up in the air than we've seen in recent years.
Flair hit toward right. Garcia is not going to get that. Yepez goes the other way with 2 strikes, and the Cardinals have 2 men on with 1 out.
Pitch is up in the zone. Juan Yepez does a good job of getting it up there. Tommy Edman's got to freeze, make sure that ball's not caught in right by Garcia.
So Nolan Arenado will bat with a couple of runners aboard and 1 out. Nolan, the Cardinals DH today. 4 innings or so at third base in game 1 yesterday. And a strike says Angel Hernandez, who has the plate. Paul Goldschmidt, Nolan Arenado, 1 and 3 in the MVP voting last year. These were the moments you saw a lot, Brad, where Arenado absolutely feasted.
You just knew it was coming, too. You get in a spot where you fall behind, watch out.
Driven toward left center. Chisholm broke back, now gallops in. He gets there too late. Ball drops safely, and the Cardinals have him loaded.
It's exactly what we were talking about early on with Jazz Chisholm. He's learning a new position. It's going to take reps, live reps, and especially out here in Florida, big sky, huge outfields. This one just falls in. He takes that drop step back, not hit near as hard as Jazz Chisholm thought it was. And that's all it takes. It's that split-second decision to go back instead of in.
So Jacob Stallings wants to talk things over with Johnny Cueto, who's given up 3 singles here in the first inning. And now Nolan Gorman's going to stand in with the bases loaded. Again, that I think is going to be the big question for the Marlins as they try to improve on a 69-win year last year. They're going to score some runs, but can they be good at run prevention.
Yeah, well, and it makes even a bigger deal of it when they lost 41-run games last year. Those are the differences in games like that.
Oh, big cut by Nolan Gorman, and that's fouled away a strike.
Well, these are the spots you want to see Nolan Gorman in early on in camp. He came in last year with a legit opportunity to make the club. He struggled in spring training. We finally saw him come up. Struggled against the fastball last year, only hit 192. So he's trying to make some adjustments on that pitch, and we're going to see how they work out. But he's got a chance. This is another key player. You're talking about big-time power from the left side. He can change a lineup if he gets hot.
Quickly behind 0-2. Sharply hit towards second. That's off the glove of Arias. 2 runs are going to score. So 2 Marlins misplays help turn into 2 Cardinal runs. It's 2-0.
Well, Gorman fell in the hole 0-2. Cueto went with the fastball. Didn't get it quite as high as he wanted, but I think that's a great look at that new level swing that Gorman is trying to pull off. Hits one right at a rise, and this is another look here at your defense with the shift. Maybe you still got bases loaded, so you're going to play in a little bit, but you don't have that group shifted over to the side, and one sneaks through.
Swing, fly ball, wallop. Jordan Walker, deep left center field. That ball is gone. That's how you start a spring game, with a bang, wouldn't you say, partner?
That's what these fans were waiting for, to see the young 20-year-old phenom. He doesn't waste any time. Jordan Walker first pitch swinging, and now he's shaking hands. Got a feeling we're going to see a lot of that.
So Johnny Cueto ambushed for 5 runs in the inning. And quite frankly, if Chisholm catches the ball in center, if Arias makes a play at second, Cueto's got a 0 in the first.
It's baseball, and those are the details that we're talking about, and the big differences here for the Marlins, and things that Skip Schumacher and his staff are going to try to clean up. There's a lot of teaching that has to go on through a major league season.
So strike 3 for Alec Burleson. That's the first strikeout for Cueto. 2 outs in the inning, and boy, Jordan Walker, ambush job.
First pitch, 89-mile-an-hour sinker, and this is the swing, ladies and gentlemen, that you've been hearing so much about. You've been watching clips on Twitter. You get a chance to see it live here. And like I said, he's got a chance to hit himself onto this ball club at 20 years old.
As we said, camp opportunity. Walker's made the most of that chance so far today with a towering 3-run home run. So Andrew Kisner, Miles Michaelis, the Cardinal battery today. They've got a 5-run lead before Miles has thrown a pitch. As that one's popped up left side toward the Marlins bullpen, and out of play, foul. Five runs on 5 first-inning hits. That'll make a manager happy. This one popped toward right. Avisail Garcia to the edge of the warning track, and he makes the play, and that caps a big first inning for the Cardinals. Jordan Walker, 3-run bomb. It's 5-0 St. Louis. I'm pretty sure that kid's not going to be wearing 67 for much longer.
Might be able to pick a number soon.
Man, 3-run homer, 5-0 Cardinals. Miles Michaelis gets his first spring start. He too, Brad, off to the WBC soon.
Well, Miles Michaelis, I mean, what a key part to a successful season last year. Innings eater, cleared the 200-inning threshold for the second time in his big league career. The pitch arsenal here for Miles Michaelis, the 4-seam slider. He'll sink it, curveball, uses off-speed early in the counts. And he really likes to finish off hitters with his fastball. Uses that a ton with 2 strikes. The thing you notice about him, Chip, he doesn't need a pitch clock. He works fast.
and works a lot. You talked about that in our opening comments. It's really rare in today's game to see a starting pitcher over the 200 innings mark.
Well, it was so great to hear him coming into spring last year, finally healthy, saying that's a mark that he wanted to hit. That was a goal that he had last year, and he was able to do it in a year where the Cardinals really needed him to.
So Jazz Chisholm, the Marlins center fielder and leadoff man, is the first Miles will face today. Chisholm's got some pop. He's a little guy, but 14 home runs and a .254 mark. Just 60 games, though, last year because of injury. And now the count runs full. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, certainly an exciting young player. And as you mentioned, it's that combination of power and speed.
Bell ties, strike 3. Chisholm flipped the bat, thought he had ball 4.
We just talked about it, Chip, how Miles Michaelis likes to finish off hitters with his fastball, and he does such a good job of getting that thing in glove side, making sure the lefty's not going to be able to extend. That runs right back and catches the corner on Chisholm.
That brings up Jorge Soler, World Series hero with Atlanta a couple of years ago. Disappointing and injury-filled season for the Marlins last year, who are counting Brad on his offense. So Chisholm, Soler, and Luis Arraez for Skip Schumacher. That's their top 3. Cooper, Garcia, Segura, the new signing, Wendell, Gold Glover, Jacob Stallings, and Gerard Encarnacion will be the Miami designated hitter today. Little squibber hit toward first. PFP, you gotta love it. And Michaelis handles that one easily for out number 2. Cardinals defense here in game 2. Tyler O'Neill in center, Burleson and Walker flank him and right and left. Infield alignment, Fermin, Edmund Gorman, and Yepez from third to first. And Andrew Kisner will be the backstop for Ali Marmol. Good start so far for Miles Michaelis, 2 up, 2 down.
You end up seeing so many balls hit off Miles Michaelis like that one, just miss hits. His ball moves all over the place. He might not strike out the world. He's not going to punch out 220 guys. What he does, he gets outs quickly, and he just misses the barrel. He uses the Gold Glovers that he has behind him.
Little chopper foul for the reigning American League batting champion, Luis Arraez. Interesting, we talked to some of the Marlins people before the game. Unknown quantity. This guy played first base a lot. Now he's playing second. Again for Miami.
Well, they're going to need him. They're going to need him to step up with the glove, but they went and made the move for the bat. They traded Pablo Lopez. His name had been all over the trade rumors. And they wanted to bring in a guy that can consistently get that hit. He's not a power threat, but he gets on base at a .375 clip. As you mentioned, reigning AL batting champion last year. This guy brings some consistency near the top of the order.
And they're looking for that big hit. Because for the Marlins, who again suffered through a 69-win season, played 64 one-run games and lost 40 of them.
That's tough. That's tough. I mean, those are the ones that you believe that you're in, and that's where the details matter. It's the defense, all right? It's all the plays that are made, and it's that clutch hit.
On the ground to second, Miles Michaelis has a 1-2-3 opening inning for his Grapefruit League slate. He's also got a 5-0 lead. Ambush for the Redbirds off Johnny Cueto. We go to the second. 9-1-2 coming up for the Cardinals. Jose Fermin, Tommy Edman, and Tyler O'Neill. Cardinals got Fermin from the Guardians in a cash transaction this offseason. He had a 6-homer year at AAA last year.
Very good defender, provides some depth there.
Back to the mound, and Cueto handles that without trouble. Time is of the essence, is it not, Brad? Funny sequence with Miles Michaelis last half inning.
Things happen quickly here. Miles Michaelis gets the throwback from Kisner, loses it on the transfer, but you see the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, the clock is still moving. Miles looked back, he saw the clock too. He said, I better hurry up here. Things are changing in baseball. Fortunately for Miles, he can execute a pitch pretty quickly.
A lot more composure than you or I.
That's a fact.
High pop by Tommy Edman. This one to Joey Wendell at short. Now Segura calls, but it'll be Wendell. Another man playing shortstop for Miami. And there you see the game clock. 30 seconds between batters. 15 seconds between pitches with nobody aboard, 20 seconds with men on.
And these clocks, when you come to the games, they'll be affixed on either side of the batter's eye in center field. There will also be three, one near each batter's on deck circle and one straight back. So everyone's going to know where the timer is.
Tyler O'Neill takes a strike. Now that you had 24 hours to digest what we saw for the first time yesterday, what was your thought on the impact of the game?
You know what? Other than the fact that we kept bringing it up, you didn't notice it that much.
Segura's first chance, and a low throw is dug out nicely by Garrett Cooper. Tick-tock we go to the home second. Baseball is back. Catch all the excitement at the 2023 World Baseball Classic starting March 8th. Get your tickets today at worldbaseballclassic.com. Miles Michaelis will represent Team USA. Mark DeRosa will be the manager of Team USA.
Team USA is loaded, too. I mean, this is a good squad, arguably the best squad they've had in the World Baseball Classic. And you talk to these guys, they're amped up. They're ready to go. They want to win. I think that there's a real excitement about it. We talked about it a little bit during the game yesterday, how if you're a manager of some of these guys, you'd love to have them in camp, but you also love them playing on a big stage and competing early.
Michael is facing Garrett Cooper, a Marlins all-star, and that's taken a little low. 2 balls and a strike. Most of Cooper's production came prior to the all-star break. Really dropped off in the second half. As that just missed, 3-1 for Cooper. Garcia and Segura to follow. 5-0 Cardinals, all 5 runs in the first inning. Jordan Walker, a 3-run first pitch home run.
Jordan Walker said, look, I got a chance here. Let's see what I can do with it. Don't waste anything. You see a lot of young hitters, too, come in and say they really want to get a feel for things. Maybe you wait around, you see a pitch. He got a fastball that was elevated on the inner half and let it rip.
Struck him out on the outside corner. Cooper couldn't pull the trigger. Second strikeout for Miles.
I really like the sequence from Miles Michaelis. 2 pitches ago, he just misses with the slider and then throws the fastball, dots the corner right after it. Cooper's looking for that spin, waiting for that to go off the plate, never does.
Is that a product of today's analytics? You mentioned that Miles likes to strike guys out with his fastball. Cooper in a 3-2 count wasn't looking for it.
Yeah, and really, it's weird how it goes because you know tendencies, right, of pitchers. But you also know the history of the game. Usually 2 strikes, somebody's coming with the slider. So you really just got to dig in and see, you know, what you believe, recognize the pitch and battle.
Well, there's another Marlin that's looking for a return to form. Avisail Garcia has been a terrific hitter in the major leagues. Struggled through an injury-plagued season last year, in large part why the Marlins were dead last in the National League in runs scored. He and Soler did not perform the way that Kim Ng had hoped they would.
No, for sure. And they went out there with Garcia. They ended up giving him a big deal, signed him for a $53 million contract. So they need more. I mean, they need more production for him. You mentioned the injuries. He dealt with the left hamstring that sidelined him for quite some time. But we saw it with the Brewers. I mean, this guy can really change a game.
Three balls, 2 strikes now, 1 out for Miles Michaelis. Will get his 2 innings in. And another strikeout, same pitch that got Garrett Cooper. I'm sensing a pattern here, Brad.
You seeing it? Yeah, he's liking to finish off these hitters with his fastball, and I love seeing early in spring training. This is his first outing, and certainly he's ramped up a little bit earlier because of the WBC, but he is spotting up.
Now Segura ambushes a first pitch. That's hit high in the air toward Walker in left, and the big man up against the wall hauls it in. Miles Michaelis, 2 scoreless innings. Third inning, Cardinals lead the Marlins 5-0. Chip and Brad with you from Jupiter, Florida. And Brad, we were talking before the game. You were really excited about this young man on the mound for Miami. It's righty Yuri Perez.
Yeah, can't wait to see him. Arguably the best pitching prospect in all of baseball. He's 6'8", pushing 6'9". Throws 100 miles an hour, has very good feel for his off speed. He's 19 years old.
He could be in the big leagues as early as this year.
Just what the rest of Major League Baseball needs to hear for the Marlins. Another guy throwing 98. Yepez pops the first pitch up towards shallow right. Rise is there and has that one without trouble. One up and one man down. Over the last several years, the Marlins, Brad, seemingly have had no trouble either drafting, developing, or trading for starting pitching and relief pitching. It's the offensive side of things that haven't worked out for them. But this kid, man, oh man, what a talented arm to add to a great stable.
For sure. And you know what you're good at, right? If you bring in pitching, that's fine. Then utilize that pitching to go get your hitters. Saw them do that in bringing in Jazz Chisholm. They used Zach Gallen, who they acquired from the Cardinals, but they use him to go out and make the trade for Jazz Chisholm, and they add what they believe to be a pivotal piece to their lineup.
Well, after seeing 100 for Nolan Arenado, Perez just missed. Took a little off at 92. Brad, that's something you were used to doing.
Oh, yeah. If I threw it twice.
Little tapper left side. Segura handles the bobble for a moment. Nolan retired. 2 up, 2 down. And here's Nolan Gorman, a 2-run single for him. His first time up. Well, you look at the Marlins, they've got a pretty salty rotation. Sandy Alcantara, Johnny Cueto, Jesus Luzardo, Edward Cabrera, Trevor Rogers. That's a pretty good starting 5 for a rookie manager or a veteran one for that matter.
Yeah, I'd feel pretty good about that, running those guys out there. And then you have depth like Perez here. It's the key. I mean, you have to have good starting pitching, and you have to have depth. We've seen this the last couple of years for the Cardinals, who seemingly right now have a lot of depth. They've had to go out at the deadline and get a couple of guys.
Ripped out of play, foul.
It's a really good matchup here for Gorman, and if Perez is going to challenge him with that heat, especially up in the zone. We saw it with 2 strikes, him able to get on top of a Johnny Cueto fastball. With all due respect to Cueto, the fastball isn't what Perez's is. So how quick can the hands be for Gorman upstairs?
Good rip again.
I think that's a pitch right there. It was the changeup from Yuri Perez. You really do Gorman a favor in this count if you elevate anything like that. He can hook it and put it on the building in a hurry.
Hooks that one into right field. That'll drop for a 2-strike hit. So Nolan Gorman, good results today, Brad. He's 2 for 2. And that'll bring up Jordan Walker, who's already homered, and we asked him what it would mean to start the year opening day in St. Louis.
Ever since I've drafted, I've had dreams about it, man. I just, really looking forward to that opportunity, so I'm working really hard to get myself there. But of course, I've thought about it on rides home, just thought about it just in my bed, just dreaming about it, man. That is an opportunity that I feel like a lot of people want to have, and then me having that opportunity to hopefully be there is definitely something that I really enjoy and I really want to experience. So
I'd say he's made the most of his opportunity today, wouldn't you?
So far, so good.
Home run, nice catch up against the wall. And we were talking between innings, as impressive as the home run was, perhaps you were as impressed, if not more, with the catch.
Well, remember, this is a guy that is a third baseman growing up. He makes the shift to the corner because third base is pretty much covered. Going up against the wall is a different thing for him. He made a nice play.
Angel Hernandez said he went around a ball and 2 strikes. But again, the Cardinals' outfield situation is one that's uncertain, I guess you could say.
Yes, well, again, you know what you want it to look like, but there are chances that a guy like Walker can end up changing your mind. As Walker takes his timeout, there is 1 timeout per plate appearance that the hitter can take. You look at Walker's swing too, and I think you see him open up a little bit, and the thought might be, okay, well, he's just a pull hitter. It's not the case. He can still take the ball that's away, even with that open stance, and drive it the other way with authority.
Didn't take Jordan Long to make his presence felt very first pitch.
Cardinal fans have been hearing so much about him. They want to get a chance to see him. And Cardinal fans have flocked down to Jupiter early on, knowing they're going to get a chance to see a guy like Jordan get this opportunity, and he gave him something to cheer about.
Little tapper. Segura, gloves, double clutch, and that's going to cost him. Walker gets down the line in good shape for a big man. He's got an infield hit. And again, Marlins defense.
Talked about Segura, natural second baseman. They're going to really rely on him over at third base. All it takes is that little edge, and that's the thing that we really haven't talked enough about with Jordan Walker is the speed that he has. He stole 22 bags last year at Double-A. He's got speed. He's got power. That's it. You love to see that as a manager. You want to see the home run. Does he bust out of the box when he hits something like that?
So 2 on, 2 out. Alec Burleson up for the second time. He struck out in his first trip. So the Cardinals have touched Johnny Cueto for 5 runs in 2 innings. Perez in some trouble here in the third.
Opportunity is the key word again in camp, and Alec Burleson is another guy that has a chance. All he's done in his professional career is hit. This guy last year at AAA, he hit .330, hit 20 home runs, only 48 at-bats at the big league level. There's a lot more there.
Runners go, and Perez couldn't complete his delivery. That's a balk.
Cardinals being aggressive. As soon as he turned his head, Gorman, they were both going.
Didn't even need the bigger bases.
It's still nice to have, just in case.
And a swing and a miss, and that'll retire the side. Cardinals get a couple of hits, strand a pair of runners. It's 5-0. Tickets are on sale now and feature returning favorites like Star Wars, Grateful Dead, Friends Night, and more. And new for this year, don't miss Harry Potter, Yellowstone, and Emo Night. For details and a full list of dates, visit cardinals.com/theme.
You were telling me about your affinity for Harry Potter, and I think that that is fantastic.
I've got them all in.
Read all of them?
No question.
Books are better than the movies, you say?
Exactly. Well, Dakota Hudson, what's the book on him?
Hey, Dakota, we know this with Dakota. He's got very good stuff, just needs to throw strikes. If he fills up the zone just like that, you're going to get ground balls. Dakota's one of those guys on defense. When he's locked in, be on your toes. You're getting ground balls. You're getting weak contact early.
Joey Wendell laces a leadoff single. That's the first Marlins base runner. And Hudson immediately to the stretch with a 5-0 lead here in the third.
Well, Dakota got ahead quickly with a fastball away. This one ends up coming inside here to Wendell. Quick hands, serves it up. The thing with me with Dakota Hudson is, though, I'm like, who cares? Because I know in one pitch, he can easily get the ground ball, get a double play right here.
25 of them last year, right? Regular season play.
It's in the back of your head. So I don't care if a guy's there. I can get 2 outs with 1.
And you've got the catcher Jacob Stallings in the batter's box. He's blessed with catcher's speed, as our friend Tim McCarver used to say.
They all try very hard down the line.
Yes.
Give them that.
Told you about this Cardinal heavy Marlins coaching staff. That's a familiar face.
Look at John Jay. We saw John Jay here in St. Louis for 6 years. Ended up with over 10, 11-year big league career. And it's been fun to watch him work with some of these guys. We were down on the field during batting practice. He's working with the runners.
In the air towards shallow right. Diving catch. Great play. Alec Burleson takes away a hit.
Chip, we talked about it early on, how big this outfield is and how important a jump is going to be. This one's not hit well off the bat. Burleson's going to have to make a good jump on it as it's coming in. His first reaction is into it. Makes himself a nice play.
That's a great example of what you talked about with Jazz Chisholm. One step the wrong way costs you two on the other end, and he wouldn't get to that ball.
Yeah, and with Jazz, you know it's going to get better and better. Phenomenal athlete, but it takes the reps. That's why these spring games are so important.
Here's Gerard Encarnacion. He is big, powerful kid. Didn't make enough contact last year at his taste of the big leagues. 32 strikeouts and 77 at bats.
Fits right in baseball right now.
Just a little low. And the count even, a ball and a strike. Look out. That one whistled in front of the Cardinals dugout. Good lead for Wendell at first. And just off the plate. It's 2-2.
For all the talk with Dakota, too, we usually focus on the sinker that he has, and it's because it's a good one. That slider is very effective, but it just comes down to, again, controlling the counts, being within the zone. Then you can get hitters to expand.
It's going to curl into the stands toward right. Stays 2 balls, 2 strikes. We're just looking at Dakota's stat sheet. 61 walks in 139 innings. Too many.
Yeah, it led the league in walks a couple of years ago. And again, the stuff is very good. But when things go awry for him, it struggles to make that adjustment quickly.
Broken bat shot toward left. Walker plays that on a hop, and Encarnacion has a hit. 2 aboard with 1 out. I think you made that point yesterday. That's going to be fascinating to see how pitchers, starters, relievers alike handle the snowball beginning to roll down the mountain. How do you stop it?
So with Johnny Cueto in the first inning, you really don't have time. You can't walk around the mound and tie your shoes and just take your time. You have to go back into it. That's when you have to trust in your staff that the pitching coach is going to come out and find the right time to talk to you, and you really just have to focus on keying in on a pitch. I do think that the pitch clock, for all that we talk about, I think it's good for some guys to end up speeding some up. And I believe that Dakota is one of those guys. I think that the faster he works, honestly, I believe the better he's going to be.
So there's one of the 2 disengagements you're allowed. You got 1 more, and then if you try it a 3rd time, you'd have to pick off the runner, or it's a balk. Wendell's got a good lead at second, and Chisholm takes a strike.
Really is going to be so interesting to see how teams play that. When a pitcher is at 2 disengagements, do the leads get bigger and bigger? First and third is absolutely going to be things that teams tinker with down here in spring training to find out how they want to deploy it during the season.
So here's one of those counts you talked about with Dakota Hudson. He's ahead, 1 ball, 2 strikes. It's Dusty Blake, first year as the Cardinals pitching coach. There's the ground ball. Can they get Chisholm? There's 1 and 2. Got ahead in the count, made a pitch, got 2 for the price of 1. And the Marlins' 3rd inning rally is in the books. 5-0 St. Louis. We go to the 4th. Remember Brian McCann, those beautiful royal palm trees gently waving in a spring breeze at Roger Dean Stadium. So far things have been a breeze for the Redbirds. Up 5-0 after 3 innings. Dakota Hudson just got a ground ball double play to end the 3rd. Cardinals got 5 in the 1st.
It's a pretty nice turn there too by Nolan Gorman.
And Perez with a pitch clock violation, so Andrew Kisner Fouls away a 1-0 pitch. That's going to be the biggest thing we all have to get used to.
Surprising, really, too, for Perez, who has pitched with the clock in the minor leagues. Usually the young guys you don't see falling for it. It's the old guard.
And Skip Schumacher with his first chance to argue with Angel Hernandez as a manager.
Oh, man, I'm sure he's been waiting for that. I mean, it was inevitable. It's going to come at some point. He's going to be good at that part, I think.
That almost took Perez with it to second, and the flip to first is in time. I do like the fact that Major League Baseball is saying, look, we're going to do the new rules, and we are going to strictly enforce them, so much so that the Braves and Red Sox ended in crazy fashion yesterday on the other coast.
Certainly did. Bases were loaded, but there ended up being a violation on the hitter. That's how the game ended, in a tie. And Major League Baseball, not that they want games to end like that, but they want you to know they will. So if you don't go out there and if you don't abide by the rules, that there will be consequences attached to it.
And with 4.5, 5 weeks or so to adjust, if you don't, really, you have no one to blame but yourself, right?
Yeah, shame on you.
Jose Fermin, big swing, little flare, hit toward left, long run. Soler, he'll have to play that on a hop. Fermin on his way to second, never stopped running, and he dives in with a hustle double.
There's a lot of real estate, Chip, here at Roger Dean Stadium. It is that little flare, but Soler is so far off, and they kind of trotting to get to the ball, takes a few extra steps, and Fermin takes advantage of it. Again, Skip and his staff, I mean, during these games, you're taking notes, you're going over talking points. Those are ones there. Like, don't give an extra base if you don't have to there.
And that was one of our talking points in the game. The Marlins have had plenty of questions raised about the composition of their club defensively, and in the first 3+ innings, I think some of those questions have been valid.
You'd rather have those questions being coming up right now.
Right.
First couple of games of spring training, get a chance to fix them.
Third trip to the plate for Tommy Edman, who has singled and scored today. This will be his last game action in camp until his play in the WBC concludes. Cardinals organization has 17 players headed to the WBC in some form or fashion.
And as we mentioned, the guys are excited about it, and some trips are closer than others. Tommy Edman and Lars Newbar, both of their pools are playing in Japan, so they've taken off pretty early.
One ball, 2 strikes. There's a good take, evens it up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Top of the hour, Chip and Brad with you from Jupiter. Cardinals got 5 first-inning runs. Big blow at Jordan Walker, 3-run home run. Miles Michaelis started 2 perfect innings, struck out 3 Marlins. And here we play into the 4th. That ball's rifled toward right, but Garcia's got a beat on it shy of the track. Fermin's going to tag, and he'll move up with a belly flop. So Tyler O'Neill will be the hitter with 2 outs. And voting's now open for the 2023 Cardinals Hall of Fame presented by Edward Jones. This year's nominees are Joaquin Andujar, Steve Carlton, David Freese, Matt Morris, and Edgar Renteria. Cast your vote at cardinals.com/HOF. Voting closes April 21st. See if Tyler can bring home a 2-out run. Good rip and a 2-0 fastball at 97.
That's the cut you want to see him take. A couple of good takes on pitches under the zone, but then let it fly. Talked a lot about him, and we'll continue to talk a lot about Tyler O'Neill. He's got such a unique skill set. He's got the big-time power. He's got ridiculous speed, two-time Gold Glover. If he gets it going, he's able to put it together and be healthy this year, watch out.
That pushed him off the plate and called a strike. So we'll try again, 2-2. Being doubled to get this rally started in the fourth. He stands at third with 2 outs. A bullet to left. That makes it 6-0. Soler will pick that up at the base of the wall. 2 doubles in the inning for the Cardinals.
It's exactly what you wanted to see from Tyler O'Neill in that spot. He battled. He got a couple of pitches early on that he just wasn't able to handle, but this one ends up being a slider, catches way more of the plate, backs up a little bit there from Yuri Perez, and he makes him pay for it. Very calm in the box, trust the hands there.
That's the end of the day for Tyler O'Neill. He finishes with an RBI single in 3 trips. Stottlemyre Jr. on his way to the mound to calm down Yuri Perez. Cardinals have a 6-0 lead. They've already tagged the Marlins staff for 9 hits.
Well, as much as you'd like to see Yuri Perez go out there and just shove and everything's great, talk about #1 pitching prospect in all of baseball, these are good experiences for a young pitcher too, to see how they react and how they calm themselves down.
And as you mentioned, strategy for the manager and pitching coach. How do we stop the avalanche?
You got to time it well. You got to know when to go out there. And again, as we saw in the first inning with Johnny Cueto, things happen fast now with the pitch clock.
Oscar Mercado pinch running at second for O'Neill. 6-0 Cardinals. And Juan Yepez is pushed off the plate.
So young pitcher here in Yuri Perez, seen the same mistake twice. He's trying to throw that slider there. The arm is dropping. He's getting around it. It's that adjustment of just staying back and getting his hand on top of the baseball. Good adjustment with the fastball. That happens a lot of times for a young pitcher. When things start getting fast and speeding up on you, then you try to do more. So you try to make the slider nastier, make the cutter cut more, instead of just letting your body do the work and just trusting yourself that it's going to come out right.
Good rip again. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Marlins have high hopes for this kid on the mound. Cardinals the same for the kid in the batter's box. They lead 6-0. That'll catch your attention. 98 and a full count.
Wakes you up quickly.
Yes.
Oh, but you're right with Juan Yepez and them believing that there's a lot there for him. One of the bigger questions in camp is the designated hitter position. He's firmly there. Albert Pujols was so good for the Cardinals last year, especially in the second half. 18 of his 24 home runs came in the second half. Like, where is that going to come from? They're hoping Juan Yepez has something to do about that.
You saw Juan right before that pitch called timeout. Every batter has 1 timeout per plate appearance at their disposal. You can understand after 98 buzzed the tower. You want to gather your thoughts before you dig back in?
That is very well timed. Now, the umpire also has discretion on plays like that, where if a guy gets knocked out of the box, he's not going to start it right away.
Good battle here.
That's the thing about Juan Yepez. I know that he profiles as a big power guy, but remember, he hits for average, and he does have a two-strike approach. He's not afraid to go the other way and flip the ball, put it in play.
Little flare, Wendell out, Soler in, and Joey Wendell makes the grab, and that'll retire the side. The Cardinals pick up another run in the fourth and lead by 6. And Angel Hernandez had a long and polite conversation between innings. Brad, that first pitch clock violation from Yuri Perez was something Schumacher needed clarification on.
You know, and I think that that's going to be part of it from both sides. Is just clarity. Everybody wants to find out exactly what these rules are. Why was that called at that point? Why did you make the decision to start the clock when you did? Because oftentimes that first pitch of an inning is, there's a little bit more to it. Or maybe he believed that his guy started before. Either way.
And the casual fan might say, well, look, it's only one pitch, but there's a huge difference between an 0-1 versus a 1-0 count, right?
Numbers bear that out for sure.
It's Mason Wynn with a cannon arm at short. He just checked in defensively. 1 of 2 changes for the Redbirds here in the home fourth. Mercado stays in the game for Tyler O'Neill. He's now in center. That's Jordan Walker. He's still in the game in left, and he's hit a 3-run homer and made a great catch.
A couple of good buddies in the game together. Him and Mason Wynn, drafted same year, come up together. I know they're having a blast so far in big league camp. We had the opportunity to catch up with both of those young men yesterday, and they're just pumped up to be here and have a great chance of being a huge part of the future.
Roller right side. That's gloved. Hey, 2 pitchers with good PFPs here, Brad, in the first 2 games.
If you mess up a PFP in spring training, I mean, what are you doing? PFP, pitcher fielding practice, you do it all the time. You're out there, you're covering, getting ground ball to the right side, you get your butt over there and you cover the bag.
Well, Dakota Hudson, inning and 2/3, 4 outs on the ground. Just what you'd like to see.
That's it. It's weak contact and it's early outs for Dakota.
Cooper, first pitch swing. Mercado lays out, makes a great catch. Cardinals doing everything right through 4 in Jupiter. Cardinals single game tickets are on sale now and start at just $6 a piece. The 2023 season is filled with great matchups, including weekend sets against the Yankees, Cubs, and Dodgers. And the promo schedule is stacked with over 40 exclusive giveaways. For tickets or more information, visit Cardinals.com. That was a perfect shot. Number 60 in a 6-0 game.
Beautiful.
In your sky. Tommy is at midseason form.
Tom knows what he's doing back there.
Great Cardinal director Brian Shapiro producing our game as well. This is the latest and greatest for the Marlins. Left-hander Will Stewart, who last year at AAA pitched to a 5.69 ERA. Yuri Perez went a couple of innings. He gave up 4 hits in a run. Jimmy Crooks swings the first one. Crooks just checked in. He rolls out to second. 1 pitch, 1 out for Will Stewart out of Hazel Green, Alabama. The silence you hear is Brad and I furiously scribbling in our scorebooks with all the changes that are taking place in the middle innings of our second spring training game on Valley.
Chip, this is a lot going on.
There is.
I've got diagrams and pictures and question marks galore.
Nolan Gorman hits, And launches out of play. Good test for Nolan here. Lefty-lefty. He's 2 for 2 already in the game.
It really is. And he's got his hits in 2 different ways. His first hit was 0-2 and ends up hitting a hot shot past Luis Arraez at second. The next time against a hard-throwing Yuri Perez gives him a changeup, and he served it into right.
Stewart's been a starting pitcher for his entire minor league career. He started in the Phillies system, signed at age 17 back in 2015. Last year went 6-5 with the Marlins AAA affiliate, affectionately known as the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp.
The Jumbo Shrimp. It's a good-looking mascot.
Three-two pitch for Nolan. And he chased it up and out of the zone for out number 2. So Gorman 2 out of 3. Here's Jordan Walker. Talk about hits in 2 different ways. I think it's safe to say that's how you describe his day.
Impressive. The 3-run bomb on the first pitch, and then he legs out a ground ball to the left side of the infield, showing off his skill set.
Back to the mound. And Walker is retired. Quick 1-2-3 inning. Impressively done by the Marlins' Will Stewart. Baseball on Bally Sports Midwest is brought to you by CarShield. CarShield cars go farther. And by Plaza Tire Service, the quick change artists. Redbirds looking good today, up 6-0 as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. And now it's a chance, Brad, for Ryan Helsley to get a spring tune-up. What
a breakout year it was for Ryan Helsley last year. The All-Star, 1.25 ERA, one of the most dominant relievers in all of baseball. And he gets ready to take up that mantle again. Looking at him to shut out games. Back end of the bullpen for the Cardinals should be solid.
Avisail Garcia greets him first, and he takes a strike. 94 strikeouts in 64 2/3 innings last year for Mr. Helsley, and all he did was go 9-1 with a 1.25 ERA.
Not bad. You saw him for a couple of years in 20 and 21. He was dealing with some knee issues and didn't really allow him to finish his pitches. Got the knee cleaned up. He came back healthy, and you just saw the difference in his slider. It's tough to hit. You're gearing up for 97, then he's got that good breaking ball.
What's the most effective pitch? That down and away strike? Looks like he lives there, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. He also has the ability to elevate when he wants to.
Triple digits.
That's what you're expecting. Your first couple of at-bats in spring training. You want to ease into things. You got everybody throwing 100. It's a brave new world out here now. Everybody's throwing 100. Got to gear up early. But the big difference is with Helsley, it's not just the stuff. Again, it's the command of the stuff.
Yep, pitch clock violation. Helsley took too long, so make the count 2-2.
So we've talked about it, late inning leverage relievers. You work a little bit slower, just something that Helsley's going to work on picking up. Like to have that happen here. It's a good breaking ball we're talking about. Good take by Garcia.
So a full count, nobody on or out. And rifled out of play again. I love the way that you put it, Brad, yesterday, and that is in the late innings when everybody's adrenaline is sky high, the game is moving 1,000,000 miles an hour, how you can slow the game down when the pitch clock may not let you.
Yeah, that's the job. That's the job, is slowing it down. And now the job is, yeah, slow it down, theoretically. But speed up when you do it, please.
That'll work. Swing and a miss takes care of Garcia. Triple digits. Helsley has his first strikeout. Garcia has struck out twice.
Good old-fashioned hardball right here from Ryan Helsley. Gears up. He had a good slider that Garcia was able to lay off of and just ends up ripping it right past him.
This will be a fun matchup. Gene Segura can hit anybody's fastball. And of course, got the slider.
He tried to jump first pitch last time, ended up flying out right at the warning track. It was a nice play by Walker. Ryan Helsley said, I'm going to go ahead and file that one upstairs, as did Andrew Kisner behind the plate. Start him off with something different.
Well, Segura's a good player. Led the league in hits a few years ago. Was a big part of that Phillies team that broke the Cardinals' hearts last year. Tough man to strike out. Good bad ball hitter. And moving down to Miami on a 2-year deal to play third base for the Marlins. Driven towards center, but Oscar's got a beat on that. 2 out. And here's Joey Wendell. Old school Joey Wendell, no batting gloves, Brad.
I've always said I'd never trust a guy with no batting gloves.
Why?
Well, because it feels like he just knows he's going to square it up, doesn't he? Not bad, that hurts. You catch one off the end of the bat. Joey Wendell didn't do that in his first at-bat. Laced a line drive right up the middle.
I like this guy.
I do too. He's a gamer. He's talked about it. You obviously get asked about the no batting gloves because it's an outlier nowadays in the game of baseball. He said, I just like the feel of the bat in my hands. It feels comfortable. I don't need anything in the way. Pulled the string right there. Did Helsley. Got him out in front. Nice pitch here. Breaking ball. Again, you're geared up 97 to 100 miles an hour. Then he spins one of these on you. Watch out.
Great play. Yepez at first. Helsley to the bag. That's not Yepez. Remember, it's spring training for the announcers too. Great play nonetheless. It's 6-0. Rawlings, Dick's Sporting Goods, and High Chew is the official club for fans 13 and under. The 2023 membership includes a t-shirt, plush Fredbird toy, reversible bucket hat, a voucher for 2 free tickets, and access to members-only events, all for just $33. Join at cardinals.com/kidsclub. To the 6th we go. Emmanuel De Jesus is on the mound for the Marlins. And there was a pitch clock violation, so the count now 1 ball, 1 strike.
It's certainly hard to keep up with these violations at the beginning of the innings, and that's something that Skip, as we talked about before, Skip Schumacher was looking for some clarity on that. But that can't happen. You can't have multiple violations at the beginning of an inning.
Burleson takes ball 4, so he's aboard to start the 6th inning. And Andrew Kisner will try to move him along. We talked about that yesterday with Giovanni Gallegos. Rather than have him deal with the pitch clock in competition, they had him work on it on one of the back fields.
Yeah, it makes sense. Go out there, get your reps, as we've talked about. He's one of the slower workers in baseball. Actually, him and Jonathan Loaizaga tied for the slowest workers in baseball. And on average, 4.8 seconds longer than the pitch clock allows for Gio. So it's going to be a big adjustment. But I know this, Giovanni Gallegos is, I mean, he's a stud athlete. He's going to be fine. He's going to figure it out. But the tempo is big in pitching. So the reps on the backfield, I think, make sense. Instead of dealing with in-game and all of the repercussions that come with it, do it in a controlled environment first.
As Ollie said yesterday, the game is hard enough, And they feel that there's plenty of time for guys to make the adjustment because, after all, that's the nature of this game.
It is. And I thought that was a really good point of his. Said, hey, early on in camp, yes, we're going to focus on the rules and we'll throw it out there. We want to make sure we're doing the things that make us a winning ball club first.
Popped left side over by the Marlins bullpen, and into the seats foul. It's a ball and 2 strikes.
Chip, you'd have to believe that there's going to be some reps this year for Andrew Knizner. I mean, Knizner last year, he caught more innings than Yachty. He was actually the first Cardinal catcher to catch more innings than Yachty since Mike Matheny. I mean, it had been a long time. But I believe that you're going to see Contreras. He's going to hit in the DH spot oftentimes. There's still going to be some reps for Knizner. So you'd love to see him get something going as well offensively.
Swing and a miss. Pretty pitch from De Jesus. Darting down and away from Andrew. 1 on, 1 out. Hey, the Blues are on home ice Tuesday night when they host the Seattle Kraken. We'll see you here on Tuesday at 6:30 for Blues hockey on Bally Sports Midwest.
Blues are going to be passing out name tags soon, making trades left and right. Barbashev just went to the Golden Knights.
Jose Fermin, the hitter, and takes a strike. And my son Tristan got to go see his first Blues game a couple of weeks ago, right on the ice. Blues picked up a win, and his first game. You talk about spoiling a kid.
Oh, yeah.
Caught a puck.
Come on.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, he's hooked.
He's hooked. And as you know, it's tradition when you take your teenage kid to their first sporting event. No trip to such event is complete unless you go to the team store.
Oh, you better get all the gear.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, you got to make sure that for all these games, because you're probably going to buy season tickets now, you got to make sure you got everything you need.
Yep, he's got the jersey, he's got the puck. When he said to his mom, my wife Susan, I'm thinking about playing hockey. That didn't go over particularly well after one game. A little pop into right, and that's going to be caught back to first. And 2 outs.
I feel like hockey's one of those games, if you start picking it up at 14, it might be tough.
Yeah. Could you skate? Could you ice skate?
Oh, I can't ice skate.
No chance.
I can get going. Stopping is a bit of an issue for me, though.
Well, I was really good at falling. That was my best
that helps,
attempt
yeah.
at hockey.
Luckily, there are walls, so you're going to stop at some point.
So good luck to the Blues against the Kraken. And again, thanks for their great hospitality the other day for my family in St. Louis for the first time. As Mason Wynn digs in. Another very highly thought of Cardinals prospect. You know all about the arm. He's on his way.
He is on his way. And I think that the Cardinals have been so happy with how his bat has translated to professional baseball. That was the big question. Remember Mason Wynn when he was drafted? I think that there are a lot within the organization that would be pretty honest with you that they expected him to be a pitcher. Now they've seen the way that he's swinging it and the way that he's progressing, getting stronger and stronger. You really do believe that, I mean, he could be the future in the infield.
Great story with Mason earlier this spring when he had a chance to work with Ozzie Smith on one of the backfields, where he said he was so excited his hand was shaking when the Wizard welcomed him and took him under his wing, so to speak. That's certainly understandable.
Ozzie Smith has that effect on people.
Up and away.
But what a unique opportunity within this organization, though, to have a guy like Ozzie Smith who's down here at the beginning of camp, who is helping out and passing along that knowledge. And you get that all the time. Cardinals bring in their former players, their Hall of Famers, and get to pass that knowledge and the love of Cardinal baseball along. It truly is something special. There's Willie McGee, who passes along knowledge every single day as a part of Ollie Marmol's staff. And the biggest ovation on opening day is generally for that guy right there.
Rifled toward the gap, right center. That's going to get down for a base hit. Cardinals have him first and third. Mason Wynn with a knock to right. One of 10 Cardinal hits on the day.
Chip, this is more like it for the Cardinals. Offense coming alive. He gets a fastball. He drives it the other way. Good base running right here by Alec Burleson to go first to third on this one. Saw him made the great athletic play in right field, diving on one, and good base running there. Chip, you were upset about how things went down yesterday, okay? First game, Cardinals didn't come out on top. They've responded for you here.
I was very disappointed. As you said, this was a critically important matchup. As that ball is bounced to the right side, double clutch, close play, but in time. And that will retire the side. Cardinals on their way up 6-zip. Packed with fan favorites like jerseys, bobbleheads, legendary player tributes, apparel, hats, and so much more. There's something for everyone in the 2023 season. Check out the full list at cardinals.com/promotions. No better promotion than winning. That's what the Redbirds are doing today. 6-0. They've out-hit the Marlins 10-2. And Jordan Hicks. Brad takes the hill.
Well, another one of those high-octane arms at the back end of the bullpen for the Cardinals. We saw his last year start as a starter. But this is looking like where the future is for Jordan Hicks. And you think about some of the weapons. You got Ryan Helsley out there, Jordan Hicks. We know what Giovanni Gallegos is. There's intrigue with Wilking Rodriguez, the Cardinals Rule 5 pick that we'll see throughout spring. Might even see him today. But you love the options that they have down there. And a couple of stints on the IL last year for Jordan Hicks. But when we saw him come back near the end of the year, he was really honing in on the strike zone. His last 11 games, only 3 walks, 17 punch-outs during that stretch. That's the big key, is how do you get that fastball that moves all over the place? How can he keep it over the middle of the plate? I think he's figuring that out as we go.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. People say, well, just throw it down the middle. Well, that's great until it straightens out and you have big problems.
For
right?
sure. Then you're backing up bases, right? It's figuring out where you start that sinker, how you can use that slider off of it. As we see him give up the free pass here. He's another one like we talked about with Dakota Hudson. With Jordan Hicks, he's 1 pitch away from 2 outs with that ground ball as well with the turbo sinker.
Hold on here. We got a pinch runner at first. We thought for a moment there might have been a pitch clock or count misunderstanding. That wasn't the case. So Angel Hernandez paused the proceedings to get Stallings out of the game for a pinch runner. So Gerard Encarnacion hits with a man aboard and nobody out. Dalvi Rosario is the pinch runner.
So he did only end up throwing. He didn't throw 4 balls, but he had a pitch clock violation early in the count.
So before the at-bat even started, the count was 1-0.
That's how it felt sometimes when I was out there, Chip. Before you do anything, you're in a hole.
That's why you sit up here. We've heard that before, I'm sure.
A lot easier up here.
The second base umpire and the third base umpire both signaling the number of disengagements, so everybody's aware of that. And it just missed.
Wonder as you get a little bit later into spring training, the main thing is you want to get your guys working, so you're not trying to make this a petri dish, a big testing ground here. But I wonder if there's thought of getting to 2 disengagements just to see how the other side reacts.
Back-to-back walks here in the 6th inning. And back to the top of the order we go. Jake Mangum will be the hitter for the Marlins, who trail 6-0.
So we've talked about everything's on the clock. So are these meetings at the mound. Trace Barrera, the catcher right now, he goes out. 30 seconds is on the clock there.
Well, as you said, 1 pitch away perhaps from a double play.
It is certainly nice to have something like that in your back pocket. I mean, he's got the ability to start it down the middle, let it run, and miss the barrel. Very difficult to square up Jordan Hicks.
And this is Jacob Amaya, I beg your pardon, in the batter's box for Miami. Broken bat roller slowly hit toward Wynn. Cannon arm throw to first. Runners advance, 1 out.
That happens to Jordan Hicks so often. You get in a spot where you want that ground ball, want to get the double play, but as we just talked about, he's hard to square up. You shatter the bat and it's hit so soft, you can't quite turn that one. It was going to be very difficult for Herrera. I don't think he was going to be able to make that flip to second to get both of them. Good decision there by Wynn.
So this is Peyton Burdick. RBI chance for him. Marlins have just 2 hits. And that's how to play to the right side. Strike one. Jordan threw that with a little anger. That was clocked at 102.
Don't mind that one bit. Go ahead and let it rip.
Six, 10-0 for the Cardinals, 0-2-0 for the Marlins. Another slow roller. And the bare hand flip goes unrewarded for Hicks. All hands are safe and a run is in to make it a 6-1 game.
Again, the maddening part of being hard to square up is these little tappers. That was the only play that Jordan Hicks had. And again, we talk about PFPs in spring training. You go over these. That's such a difficult play on the run to barehand it and just couldn't corral it. But for right now with Jordan Hicks, your last 2 batters, that's what you want. You want to see him within the strike zone with the weak contact. So you started off with a couple of walks. Forget those. Get right back to doing what you're doing here now.
Jordan Groshans will be the batter. First and third. Marlins have their first run. It's a 6-1 game now.
Chip, for all the talk about bigger bases, and not that Jordan Hicks is an easy guy to run against, we haven't seen a lot of that early on in these 2 games.
This is one of those situations, first and third, right? A score dictates how you play, obviously. But
of course.
In a close game, maybe you try to get a couple of disengagements. And force a balk or a decision from the opposing defensive club.
It's going to end up getting wild during the regular season when you're trying to win these games and they're close, and you're going to have a lot tighter ball games certainly in the regular season. That's when I think that you're going to see teams pull out their old trick book. How do you circumvent some of these rules, and how do you make them work to your advantage?
There's a good hook, full count. Runner first goes. That ball skied toward right. Wynn's got a hold of that. Nice catch in the corner. A run will score to make it a 6-2 game, but it cost the Marlins a second precious out. So Groshans with a sacrifice fly. Miami has played at both bases on balls in the inning.
You see this a lot in Jupiter, don't you? The big sky, the winds are flying. Moises Gomez out there in right field ends up tracking it down. Another guy with a chance, who knows, to make this ball club out of spring. We saw him yesterday with a double off the bench, rocketed one into left center.
So Miami with a couple of runs. It's a 4-run game. This is Joe Rizzo now, and he's pushed off the plate. Nothing wrong with Jordan's velo, but the aimage is off just a bit in his first appearance.
Well, I guess that's what this time is for, isn't it? figuring out where that release point is before you get back to where he was at the end of the year last year. We've seen him a couple of times, though. We see him, and that's a good example of it right there. He pulls across on one, and then you'll see him miss arm side. The sweet spot is somewhere in the middle. It just takes a little while to find it. But in the type of games that he's going to be in down the stretch, you need it right away.
Letter high, taking all the way. It'll get me over 99-mile-an-hour fastball.
It's nice to have. You know, the BP fastball. Brave to throw that one, but, you know.
Connor Thomas is getting ready in the Cardinals pen. And Hicks has walked his third man of the inning. 25 pitches. And it looks like that's going to be the end of the line. Ali Marmol is making his way to the center of the diamond.
Well, spring training early on is about getting your work in. You don't want to see the 3 walks, but all that matters right now is how he's feeling.
Everybody looking forward to opening day and all the festivities at Busch Stadium when the Toronto Blue Jays come in to start the season. We'll go to Wrigley for our first look at the Cubs in May. The London series, a couple of games against the Cubs, All-Star break in mid-July. And then, of course, the final series of the regular season takes us into October as the Cincinnati Reds will be the Cardinals' opponents. Connor Lunn is going to take over. And he'll inherit first and second, 2 outs. A couple of runs in for Miami. And this is Jake Mangum, who bats for the first time here. That was nasty and on his hands.
Goes upstairs right there. These are nice opportunities for a guy like Connor Lunn, 24-year-old right-hander, get into a ball game like this. You lay things out, you have the plan, but you always have your guys, safety net. They might get a chance. Well, it's a good opportunity for him here to get into this game. Saw Lunn work mainly as a starter last year. Started 17 games in AA Springfield. He gets himself a shot here.
Popped up. Foul ground, left side. Long run, sliding try, no play. And Lunn will go back to work with an 0-2 count.
You know, it's later in the game in spring training when you have a ball like that that's hit in the corner and you have 3 guys that are on it. You have three young bucks that were going for that ball.
Another pop fly foul. Cardinals back in action tomorrow. Get their first look at Buck Showalter and the New York Mets.
Talk about a guy that might be digging into different ways to circumvent some of these rules out there. You know, Buck Showalter, one of the more intelligent managers in the game. I'm sure he's been trying to pick these apart any way he can.
Cardinals play at Washington on February 28th. They'll have one of 2 open dates. The first of those is March the 1st. We're back with you out here on Bally Sports Midwest on March the 5th when the New York Mets will be here in Jupiter. So we're looking forward to that. Hope you'll join us. Runner advances on a ball in the dirt despite Tres Barrera's best efforts. So Peyton Burdick at third base for Miami.
Just kicked away from Barrera right there. You see Lund on the breaking ball. We see him. He slows himself down a little bit on that breaking ball. Want to be able to make sure that's looking the same as his fastball coming out of his hand.
Did it again. But Jake Mangum fouled it straight back and stays alive. Still a ball and 2 strikes. Two and two. This might go down, quite frankly, as one of the longest at bats we've seen this spring. Seriously.
It has. He's battling up there, making the most of this opportunity is Jake Mangum.
That time he got his man, a swing and a miss. And that'll end Miami's 6th inning. They pick up a pair, but trail 6-2. Valley Sports Midwest is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. 7th inning, Brad Dawson, Chip Carey with you. This is not Juan Yepez in the batter's box, just to be clear.
Luken Baker.
Thank you.
Made a heck of a play. Couple of innings ago, flagged one down.
Well, it reminded me a lot of the way Yepez played first base.
Like a cat over there.
You know what's scary is this ball's popped into shallow right center. I'm going to have to go apologize to Luken, and he might be the only guy down there bigger than me.
That's a fact.
That's a big
That
dude.
is a fact. He's a big boy.
How about those shoes? Sported by Mr. De Jesus.
I got to get some of those.
You know what's great about those?
What's that?
They match everything.
That's true. The entire spectrum there. Got all the colors.
Jimmy Crooks up for the Cardinals as we've reached the top of the 7th. There's a base hit to center. Redbirds have 11 hits. Nice job by Crooks going the other way. And he's aboard with 1 man out. Uniel Karakuto is up now for the Cardinals. Times like this, Brad, this is where I really miss my grandfather. Where's the pitch? How'd you like to see him try this name backwards?
I would love that. I would love that. He had a tiny bit of fun, didn't he?
He did. Quite frankly, got away with murder. But he had fun doing it. No balls at a strike. Double play ball if they can turn it. And the Marlins do. Sharply hit. Nice work by De Jesus. And how about that? For symmetry, we head to the 7th inning stretch. Play today, Brad, is defense. Our Budweiser plays of the game.
Defense has been very good. That was a nice turn there by Gorman. Athletic play. Mercado laying out, as does Alec Burleson there, showing off the leather. Luken Baker over at first base, flags one up the line, saves extra bases. Defense has been solid for Ollie Marmol's club today.
And that's why the Redbirds enjoy a 6-2 advantage. Miles Michaelis, 2 scoreless innings with 3 strikeouts. Jordan Walker, a 3-run homer. And now Drew Verhagen checks in and gives up a line drive out to right off the bat of Brian Miller. We were talking between innings. How does Drew fit into the mix this year?
Yeah, Drew Verhagen signed last year. He ended up signing a 2-year deal, and unfortunately for him, his season was derailed by injury, cut short with a hip issue that he had to get cleaned up. But in spring training, I mean, he looked like one of the better pitchers they had out there. It got to the regular season, it just didn't translate, hopefully due to injury. But right now, you kind of see him as being a bulk innings eater out of the bullpen, swing guy for you as well. But a big spring, I believe, for Drew Verhagen here to prove that he is healthy and he's ready to contribute to this ball club.
C.J. Hinojosa is the hitter, and he scorches that towards center. No problem for Mercado, and that's out number 2. I think the point that you made is worth repeating. It's one thing if a man has a bad year and just doesn't perform well. If the reason for that is injury, you have to put an asterisk by it, don't you?
Of course, yeah. You want to find out what he's like when he's healthy. We've seen the big arm. He's got a fastball that's in the mid-90s. He's got a really good breaking ball. It was noticeable in spring training. I remember watching him warm up for one of his first games that he was actually starting, and thing just snaps off the table. And the question is going to be, you know, where can he fit in? How does he force the hand? There's a lot of competition, and we spent a lot of time talking about the outfield. But really, you look at this bullpen. I mean, there are more good arms than there are spots that are available. So who's going to emerge, and what do those roles look like?
And that's a good problem to have.
Yes,
First of all, for organizational depth. But if you need to fill a need somewhere else, like we said yesterday, there are 29 other teams watching what you have. Another chance in center, and Verhagen. That was quick, efficient. 6 pitches for 3 outs. That'll make a manager and pitching coach happy as it sends us to the 8th. Nation, if you joined us late, you missed an awful lot in the first inning, Brad. I think it's safe to say.
Jordan Walker didn't waste any time. First pitch from Johnny Cueto. We got an 89-mile-an-hour sinker in. He turned around and put it way out of this big ballpark at Roger Dean and gave the couple thousand Cardinal fans here something to cheer about.
Also made a super catch up against the wall today. As you pointed out, the Cardinals defensively have been excellent so far on the afternoon. As they try to even their spring record at 1 up, 1 down, they'll feast their eyes on Josh Simpson, a reliever by trade who went 7-2 last year between Pensacola and Jacksonville.
Another guy in Simpson knocking on the door, right? You spend the year, you're at AA, you're at AAA, you're a good couple of outings away from being in the big leagues.
And flips up a breaking ball for Jordan Walker. No balls and a strike. Walker's other hit, an infield single.
Showing off that skill set.
In the air toward right. And Walker will be retired for out number 1. Good day, though, for Jordan. 2 for 4.
Yeah, I think you'll take that for sure. And again, with Walker still growing. He doesn't turn 21 until I believe it's May. I mean, he's just such a young, talented player who's trying to force his way onto this roster, as is Moises Gomez.
And dealing with all the hype and the expectation, right? The number 1 position player prospect in baseball.
That's something too that as an organization you want to see that. You want to see how these guys deal with that, knowing that all the eyes are on you. How do you come out of it? I think that we got a chance to see that a little bit last year, and we talked about it yesterday with Nolan Gorman. Gorman came in last year to spring training with a legit opportunity to make this ball club. Could be in the mix at second, could have been in the mix at the DH position. He struggled in spring and ended up working out very well for the club.
Gomez shoots one through the hole for a base hit. So Moises aboard with a sharply hit single.
Well, we saw Gomez yesterday hit a double in the left center gap. This time it's a single. Competitive camp, take advantage of at-bats, and he takes advantage of that hole right there. 5-6 hole, sneaks it through.
So Trace Barrera will get a chance. Man aboard, 1 out, 6-2 Cardinals, 8th inning.
Barrera comes over from the Nationals, provides some more depth at the catching position.
I heard a rumor last year that his nickname was Yogi.
Did you?
Uh-huh.
I think it's fitting.
Haven't confirmed that.
We'll ask him after the game. We've got a job to do. We'll go down there and we'll find out.
Where's the cat when you need him?
Sleeping.
Right, well.
It's nap time.
That was Brad, by the way. Jim, 3,620, the official attendance. Game 2 of the spring. And Taylor Motter's going to hit with 2 aboard and 1 out.
Saw Motter yesterday flashing the leather a little bit. Going out there ranging in foul territory to snag one, a la Nolan Arenado.
Taylor's been around a while. He's no kid. He'll be 34 this year. Cardinals signed him as a minor league free agent right around Thanksgiving. He's been with the Rays organization, the Mariners, the Reds, played in Korea. Big league action with the Rockies, the Red Sox, spent time in the Braves system. I mean, he is a guy that won't let the dream die. Good for him.
Yeah, good. Play as long as they let you, right?
Right.
Until they rip a jersey off you, and you never know when you're going to be hot at the right time and get another chance.
I love hearing the stories about like Miles Michaelis, the guys that go overseas and play in Japan or Korea.
Yeah.
Different style of baseball, obviously, but a lot of guys that go over there really hone their craft and improve and come back better players than when they left.
For sure, you end up figuring something out, trying something new.
In the air toward left for the second out.
And for a lot of guys, too, getting that, first of all, it's a great opportunity to be able to go and play overseas, and it's a great experience. But the path is not always a straight line. And sometimes when you have to take that tangent, you realize, okay, what I'm doing right now is obviously not working. And what do I have to do? Sometimes it takes that roadblock to make you change. And I think that, that resonates in anything that you do for a living.
Mason Wynn, the hitter, and takes outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Wynn picked up a single when he checked in midway through the game. You know what? The Cardinals kids have done a nice job today. Talked about Jordan Walker, Mason Wynn with a knock. Moises Gomez with a hit. A lot of good things happening here in game 2. 6 runs and 12 hits.
It's always what you're trying to blend to on a team is the Cardinals. You already know they've got great veterans. They got a couple of cornerstones over at first and over at third base. You bring in Contreras, but you got young talent too. You always have the pipeline. That's why this organization has been so successful.
Shot toward right. That's a base hit. Ball trapped. Running around third. He's going to score. The throw to third is going to be late. Nice day from Mason Wynn. He goes the other way. He gets rewarded with an RBI hit, and it's 7-2.
Yeah, really nice job here by Wynn, just being able to stay back on this pitch. He gets fooled a little bit, but the pitch is up enough for him to drive it the other way. Just recognize it. You see the intent to go that way with the swing.
Good base running. Cardinals go first and third on that single to right. Have them there again with 2 outs. And now Oscar Mercado tries to add on. And time granted by Angel Hernandez.
That first to third and scoring on a single from second. That's something that the Cardinals do amongst the best in all of baseball. Really have an attention to detail. That base running means a lot. You know what really helps stuff like that is having your best players be your hardest workers. Paul Goldschmidt is one of the best base runners in baseball, and he's always working on it. He's always out there. He takes his reps seriously during batting practice, going station to station. If you're a young player, you watch that and say, I better do what Goldie's doing.
He's the MVP for a reason, right?
That's it. That's it. And there's obviously a lot of God-given gift when it comes to Paul Goldschmidt. But the work that goes into it beforehand, afterwards, in the weight room, like his approach. Same thing can be said with Nolan Arenado, Adam Wainwright. We saw it forever with Yadier Molina. There are so many guys that you can learn from and want to emulate.
Poke toward right. Diving play at second. Throw to first gets away. Another run will score, and the Cardinals again have him first and third. Hinojosa with a great try at second base. Couldn't complete a peg to first. And the inning continues for the Cardinals.
Yeah, that was one of those where you just had to come up and throw it. You saw Mercado, too, trying to go that way. Lets that ball travel as you've got him shaded up the middle. That was do or die on the throw, and it just didn't happen.
So some tough luck for Simpson here. An infield hit. He's on balls, didn't help his cause either. He's thrown 21 pitches. He's about to face his 7th hitter, and he's given up a couple of 8th-inning runs.
And one of those well-timed meetings on the mound, as we talked about before. Something that managers are really going to have to be cognizant of this year is, first of all, knowing how quickly your relievers get ready, because things are going to go a little bit faster. You have to tell your guys to really pay attention. I think the job of the bullpen coach is going to be really important, of saying, hey, this is starting to snowball a little bit, maybe start moving around, could be you, because you're going to have to get ready quick.
Bullet yanked foul. Well, let's think about it from a physical standpoint too. You come into the game, if you don't use the bullpen cart, you got to jog or sprint to get to the mound, catch your breath, complete your warm-up tosses, and then go to work with the game on the line.
Yeah, for
right?
sure, for sure. And that's another thing too, because you might think, okay, well, we see relievers do this all the time. They throw some extra pitches out there. They take their sweet time coming out of the pen. Can't do that either.
So Simpson gets Luken Baker to tap to the mound, but the Cardinals add on. Ollie's club looking good today. 8-2 your score. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the St. Louis Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Our next Redbirds telecast is next Sunday, noon Central Time on Bally Sports Midwest. Cardinal spring training is presented by Mid-America Chevy. To the home eighth we go. Drew Verhagen had a quick and easy 7th inning, so he'll get a few more pitches in the bullpen. That's always, how you know it's spring training.
And that's always a good feeling when you have to finish your work over there instead of get pulled out of a game early and said, I worked enough.
But he gives way to another intriguing name, Brad, this camp. It's Wilking Rodriguez.
Wilking Rodriguez, Rule 5 draft pick. Cardinals picked him up from the Yankees. And you're going to see a lot of triple digits from Wilking Rodriguez. Starts out with the slider right there, but this is a guy, as you know, with the Rule 5 draft pick, has to be a part of your 26-man roster or on your IL in the big leagues. If he's not, he has to be offered back to his club. But this is a guy, I mean, we already talked about Helsley. We've seen him in this game. We see Hicks. You know what he's got. You add another weapon like this. The big key is, does he command the strike zone? I mean, that's the key. It doesn't matter how good your stuff is. Can you throw strikes with it? But an arm that they've liked for a couple of years.
High pop fly by Will Banfield out toward right. Rodriguez will pick up the first out. He's such an amazing story. He's 32 years old. He started pitching professionally in 2007. He has pitched a grand total of 2 games in the North American Major Leagues. He's been in the minors for 9 years, 6 years overseas, pitching professionally, but still trying to crack a major league roster.
Well, he's got the arm to do it.
As Jacob Amaya digs in and has to duck under that pitch.
Breaking ball just pops out of the hand of Wilking Rodriguez there. We were just talking about the different routes. It's not always a straight line to get to where you want. It's been a bit of a wiggly line for Rodriguez, but a great opportunity here with the Cardinals.
Miles Michaelis started, went 2 innings, 3 strikeouts, 2 perfect innings. Dakota Hudson looked good, gave up a couple of hits, but got a double play ball in his 2 scoreless frames. Ryan Helsley, a scoreless inning. Hicks gave up a couple of runs, had some control problems in his first appearance this spring. Wins Verhagen, now Rodriguez down the stretch for the Cardinals in the 8th inning.
Mentioned the 2 outings that he's had at the big league level. It came when he was playing for the Kansas City Royals. Oddly enough, one of the outings he faced was the Cardinals. He ended up facing Yadier Molina. It was the first out that he got. He faced Oscar Taveras and Johnny Peralta. Got him in order in 11 pitches. Been a long time coming to get back to this.
And shaved off the outside corner, and Jacob Amaya's rung up. That was a nice sequence. 2 outs.
A really good spot right here by Wilking Rodriguez. A good slider right on the corner. Very quiet strike 3 there by Angel Hernandez behind the plate.
Well, by today's standards, this game has gone a lot longer than maybe Angels used to. Chopper toward third. Nice play. And a looping long throw. No chance. And Peyton Burdick will pick up an infield hit. At least Motter kept it on the infield.
That's it. Save extra bases.
There you go. And Jordan Grosjean's up again. Grosjean's a sac fly his first time up. 8-2. Cardinals have out hit the Fish 14-4.
Pretty good fastball right there. Not exactly sure where it missed.
Play foul. The Cardinals, of course, share this spring training site with the Marlins. They'll see them a lot more. 5 more games head to head between the Redbirds and the Fish. One of them a split squad affair. Final 3 days of spring training. We'll have a lot better idea of how both of these clubs will shape up by then.
You get to know these teams very well, don't you?
There's a bullet into center field. So the Marlins have them first and third with 2 outs.
I am really looking forward to see how Skip Schumacher's Marlins team comes together this spring. As we talked about all these different questions, what does it look like with Jazz Chisholm moving to center field, defensively in the infield with a rise? You know, he's over at second base. We saw him play at first base most of the time with the Twins. What does it look like over at third? I mean, a lot of different questions for his ball club. How does he tighten it up?
They had some trouble defensively in the first inning, and that's when the Cardinals got 5 of their 8 runs. And we were talking with Tommy Hutton, their longtime broadcaster, before the game. Tommy here doing his homework for their next broadcast. And I asked him, what's the measure of improvement for the Marlins team? Look, they won 69 games last year. They play in a tough division, but they won't have to play the Mets, Phillies, and Braves as often. And we'll talk about that a bit more when we come back. For inning number 9. 8-2 your score. Sports Midwest crew back with you in Jupiter as our second of 15 spring training telecasts on Bally Sports Midwest moves to the 9th inning. It's been all Cardinals today. 5 runs in the first. They've pounded out 14 hits. And now they'll feast their eyes on a king-sized right-hander, Sean Reynolds. Brad, all 6'8", 240 pounds worth.
They have got some big dudes rolling out of there. We saw Yuri Perez, their #1 pitching prospect, and arguably the #1 pitching prospect in all of baseball. He's 6'8", pushing 6'9". You got Reynolds there at 6'8". They've got Dax Fulton, who's 6'7". A.J. Puck, they made a deal for 6'7".
That's what this kid does in his minor league career. 69 games, 103 strikeouts, and 84 innings.
Get a little feel for that, too. Went 97 upstairs, then pulls the string and hits the corner.
So Jimmy Crooks has some work to do. He's down to his last strike in the 9th. And that's out of play foul. Well, the point I was getting to with 2 outs in the previous half inning, which again it's spring training for the broadcasters too, Brad, as you know, How do the Marlins gauge success? I think you hit it on the head. Skip Schumacher, his staff, can they clean up some of the things that the Marlins have had issues with? Can they hit enough, and can they continue to develop enough pitching, both in rotation and bullpen, for the present, or perhaps to make deals to improve their overall club?
Certainly, and it's a collaborative effort. It ends up starting upstairs with their GM, Kim Ng, who went out and picked up a guy like Luis Arraez. They bring in Gene Segura, knowing that they're players that can end up helping you, but now tweaking along the way and making these guys better and better. And it starts right now. It starts in spring training with all the small details that are out there. They've got all of the hallmarks of a good club offensively, and you hit it earlier. They need more from Soler. This is a guy that hit 48 home runs a couple of years ago as a member of the Royals.
To short. And a long throw in time for out number 2. Look, the Marlins aren't going to light the world up. They're not going to hit a ton of home runs. The days of Ozuna and Yelich and Stanton doing their thing isn't going to be back anytime soon. They were next to last in the league in home runs last season. But if they could put the ball in play with Arraez and Segura and Chisholm, doubles, triples in that big ballpark, they're going to score runs unconventionally, I guess, by today's standards.
For sure. Well, and I thought that you brought up one of the most important numbers for the Marlins earlier in the broadcast, the fact that they were 24 and 40 in one-run games. You swing a few of those your direction by doing the little things right or getting that clutch hit, all of a sudden your year feels a little bit different. And then maybe you're at a position at the trade deadline where you're adding a piece or trying to tweak this ball club to make it better.
Well, you know Skip Schumacher and that staff far better than I. Certainly Schumacher, if anybody's going to right that ship from the manager's chair, he's an excellent choice.
I think
for the
he's a
first
perfect
time.
fit. I really do. And you knew that he wasn't long for the bench coach role, as flicks one right out there into left field as Mike Antico, and by the way, is a guy that will swipe a bag. There's a good chance you're going to see him going here. One of the fastest guys, the fastest guy in the Cardinals organization. But I think that Skip is going to be perfect for it. This is a guy that has worked at every level. He's worked in the front office with the Padres. He understands the analytics, but he understands the baseball part of it. He's a great motivator. He's young. He's got a good staff. This team's in good hands.
So Antico at first for Moises Gomez. 2 outs, 8-2 Redbirds, who have 15 hits on the day. Driven out of play, foul, even count. 1 ball, 1 strike. One thing that will help the Marlins with the new schedule, they again won't have to play the Mets, Phillies, and Braves 19 times. They'll spread those 15 to 18 games around with teams from the other league. No, they won't all be easy games,
right?
But as tough as the National League East looks to be on paper, that's got to be a break for a club that's in the position that is Miami.
You would think. You would think. I personally, I kind of like the idea of the more balanced schedule.
I'm with you.
I think it's going to be fun for baseball fans to get an opportunity to see stars all around the game that maybe you don't stay up for the West Coast game and see Shohei. Well, I think it's going to be fun. The Angels and Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout will make their way to Busch Stadium this season.
And it makes it fairer, right? If your year drew the straw of a team or a division, let's say you're an American League team and you got to play the East while your fierce opponent fighting for a playoff spot has to play a weaker division, that's not as fair. So everybody playing everybody, I agree with you, at least makes it more fair.
Yeah. Now, is it going to be a little bit different on opening day on the 30th at Busch Stadium as they welcome the Toronto Blue Jays? Yeah, that's a little bit different, but it's fun. I mean, you get stars over there, Vlad Guerrero Jr., Bichette. I mean, they got some dudes that you want to see. Alek Manoah, he's one of my favorite pitchers in the game to watch. I mean, it's going to be fun, and it's going to be fun for Cardinal fans that are going to get the opportunity to travel. As we know, Cardinal fans travel well, go to a bunch of new ballparks.
As Tres Barrera's up, Reynolds with 16 pitches here in the 9th inning. Cardinals trying to add on here with a 9th inning threat. Yeah, I think it's great. The new schedule. You want to market the game? Let every city see every star, either at home or on their TV once a year, at the very least. And that's going to start this season. And we will start the bottom of the 9th inning. Cardinals on their way up 8-2. win. 8-2 is your score, and Ali Marmol goes to his bullpen yet again.
Kyle Leahy gets the nod this time. Leahy, the 25-year-old, he racked up some innings over the last season. Actually led all of the Cardinals in innings with 144 2/3, and getting a chance here at big league camp to make another impression. As we talked about throughout spring training, it's not just necessarily about the guys that are cracking the 26-man roster and heading north for opening day that we were just talking about. It's how do you plant that seed in the manager and the pitching coach and the staff's mind and the front office mind that when it's time for your name to be called, that you're ready for it. Well, it's games like this for a guy like Kyle Leahy.
He turns 26 in June. 6'4", 193 out of Longmont, Colorado. And Jake Mangum will be the first man he faces here in the bottom of the fateful ninth. It's a good start.
Well, these are those games, too, with a guy like Leahy as a manager. You want to see him go pump strikes. Go right after these guys. Don't nibble. Exactly what he's doing.
So as we work away here in the bottom of the ninth inning, what's your hope for Cardinal fans to take away from game 2 of this spring schedule?
Well, I think that you can be very excited about the future in a game like this. As you saw Jordan Walker in his first at-bat, 3-run home run. You also saw him leg out an infield single and catch a ball on the wall. You saw Mason win. He's shown it off with the bat and the glove already, so you got to love that. And the pitching looked good. You mentioned the erratic around the strike zone for Jordan Hicks, but other than that, pitching has looked really good. Hicks got his work in. You know how big of a part he's going to be. Michaelis looked fantastic. We'll get one more outing of Miles Michaelis before he heads off to the World Baseball Classic, but he looks like he's ready to rock.
And what's his natural progression? First the pitch as a starter, swing and a miss. That was nasty. Down and in on the shoe tops. What's the progression for Michaelis? He went 2 today. What do you expect in his next start?
And he did it so efficiently, did Miles Michaelis, spotting up his fastball. You think that he'd get up to at least 3 innings next time, and the hope is maybe he even finishes work on the side like we saw Drew Verhagen do today. But Miles went out there in his 2 innings, only 28 pitches, getting his strikeouts, getting them looking, just spotting up already. But just continue to build that up. That's the hard part when you're talking about the World Baseball Classic and starting games. As you mentioned earlier, games are starting March 8th in the WBC. They're going to want their starters built up a little bit more, but I wouldn't see him doubling his work the next time out.
So 28 today. 40-ish
I'd say
start?
The thought was probably around 40 today for this one. So maybe you go 50, 55 in the next one. And who knows with Miles? I mean, he could turn that potentially into 4, but I'd expect about 3 innings out of him.
Ryan Miller with a shot to center. He picks up a knock. And he'll stand at first with a man out here in the bottom of the ninth inning.
Spinner right there by Leahy. Just ends up being up in the zone.
And here's C.J. Hinojosa. Starting pitchers for the Cardinals the next 2 games. Connor Thomas tomorrow against the Mets, and then Matthew Liberatore will face the Nationals over in West Palm Beach before the off day, as we said, which will come on March the 1st.
Well, really looking forward to watching both of those guys. Connor Thomas, as you know, is a guy that got added to the 40-man roster. He was out pitching in the Arizona Fall League, and he really added something to his repertoire. He needed something to keep the right-handers honest. And that something was a cutter. It was Mike Maddox that talked to him a little bit about it in spring training last year, and Jason Isringhausen really helped him hone that thing and teach him to trust it, and it's turned into a real weapon for him.
Look at that ball explode.
Wow. 96 miles an hour, too, by Leahy.
So 2 strikeouts for Leahy here in the 9th inning, and the Marlins are down to their final out. That had some run, didn't it?
Just power right there.
And Austin Allen is the Marlins' final hope.
I like what we're seeing out of
I
Leahy.
do
Live
too.
arm, aggressive.
Confident. Hit it if you can. Right now, the Marlins can't. And the 0-2 pitch. Leahy ready. Strike three. 3 strikeouts in the 9th inning. And the Cardinals beat the Marlins 8-2, Brad. This was a really nice team win.
Chip, that pep talk you gave the team before this one, it paid big dividends. They came out swinging. The pitching looked good, and that's exactly what you want to see. Guys got their work in and getting better here today in Jupiter.
8-2 Cardinals. They even up their Grapefruit League record at 1-1, and we'll put a nice, neat bow on Game 2 victory after our final break.